Welcome to Re Forma. At a conference in Thailand in 2016, research was announced that revealed that only 5% of all the pastors in the world have a formal qualification. That means that on a Sunday morning, the majority of people standing in pulpits around the world are either untrained or undertrained. Scary, isn't it? Because in every other profession, one needs a qualification and one needs to register with some formal body. But it's never been like that in ministry training. People have just done what they thought was the best. And sometimes that leads to abuse and false teachings and heresy and the preaching of false doctrines. And it's creating a massive crisis for the church. In Kenya, for example, independent research confirmed that 76% of all the pastors in Kenya are untrained. Now, added to that, there are many, many churches being planted every day around the world. And GACX, the Global Alliance for Church Multiplication, has as its aim to plant enough churches to have one church for every 1,000 people in the world. And by 2050, there will be 9.7 billion people on this planet, which means that we will need 9.7 million pastors. Right now, if you were to add up all the pastors in training in accredited institutions around the world, they would only make up 5%. And of course, as more churches are being planted, that percentage is shrinking. And it's my prediction that by 2050, that 5% will shrink to 3%. So the need in the non-formal sector for trained pastors is enormous. Now, these people, of course, cannot always go to seminaries or Bible colleges because they can't afford it, or they don't have the entry requirements, or they can't leave their families or their ministries. And so a different kind of solution to create a global standard is necessary. At the end of that year, 2016, Dr. Manfred Cole, the respected theologian who probably knows more about theological education than anyone else, given the fact that he has visited 495 seminaries and Bible colleges around the world, more than any other person in history. He got together a team of 25 experts from around the world. And basically, the question they had to answer was, what does a pastor need to be able to know, to do, and to be in order to be declared competent? Well, they came up with 35 competencies. Some were based on knowledge, some were based on skills, and some were based on character. And to each of those, we as Re Forma attached an outcome. So initially there were 35 outcomes, there are now 37. And when we showed those to the World Evangelical Alliance, they agreed that this should become the first ever global standard for non-formal ministry training. So we started to enroll groups of untrained and undertrained pastors in September 2018. And in the last few years, the numbers of enrolled groups have increased dramatically. So as I speak now, we have well over 4,500 groups enrolled in 91 countries with the outcomes available in 78 languages. You see, people have realized that in the non-formal sector, there must be a global standard. There must be a standard that pastors have to reach in order to be declared competent. Well, when we began enrolling these groups, we thought that they would have access to material, to a curriculum, to things that could help them, resources. But that's not the case. We soon discovered that because many of them are in rural communities, they simply do not have what they need in order to train their pastors. And so we wrote comprehensive material for every single outcome. We wrote assessment guidelines to help them to see what they should be looking out for in order to prove that someone has actually demonstrated the outcome. And we go to countries where there are a sufficient number of facilitators, and we conduct what we call quality assurance training institutes, where we intensively train the facilitators in the outcomes, in the assessment guidelines, and in their facilitation skills. We've also appointed national coordinators in various countries whose task it is to go and visit the facilitators, to get alongside them, to support them, to help them, have a meal with them if necessary, and just encourage them as they train their groups. You see, we don't actually train the students, we train the facilitators who then train the students. So, this is the solution, I think, that the church has been looking for. And the fact that so many different groups from around the world are enrolling every day confirms that. We would love to have you enroll. We'd love for you to get together a group of untrained or undertrained pastors and enroll, and we will send you everything that you need in order to teach the program. What do you have to do? Well, if you click on the website, www.re-forma.global, and then you click on enroll your groups, fill out the small form that pops up on your screen, and you'll immediately get an email from us with all the resources that you need to teach the program. So go and do that. We look forward to having you in this free program soon.